Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma. Here are the big stories we're tracking for you in the polity right now. Universities face possible lockdown as the non-academic staff of educational and associated institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, commence indefinite strike over 4 months with held salaries. She's gone and there is no place for her in the Tinubu administration. Presidential spokesman Bayo Nanuga confirms the exit of former humanitarian minister Dr. Betta Edu, although there is no official communication on the status of Edu, who may still be under investigation. And petroleum marketers and retail outlet owners seek seed capital from the federal government to enable it lift PMS as price of 45,000 liters of truckload of product rises to almost 50 million naira from 7 million naira. Welcome again to the program. We call it your midday gateway into the polity. Our job is to track the polity for you at midday. But let's get started with that story that broke this morning in what could pass for a relationship that has gone south between the federal government and NASU as well as SSANU, who have commenced an indefinite strike action following the expiration of an ultimatum for government to pay its 2022 4 months withheld salaries. Members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian University and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions says it's appalling that despite several ultimatums issued to government, no positive result has come from the government. The two unions directed its members in all public universities and inter-university centers throughout the country to hold a joint congress in their respective campuses today and proceed on an indefinite strike, comprehensive and total one, as no concession should be given in any guise.
This is not a new issue. In July, precisely on the 17th, we had a national protest in Abuja. And thereafter, NLC took over the matter and mentioned before the president when they discussed the national minimum wage. It was at that meeting that the president gave a directive that 50% of the 4 months be paid, which is 2 months. And thereafter, we also got to have the approval of Mr. President. And 3 months down the line, this thing has remained elusive. We have had several discussions with the federal ministers of education, the senior minister and the junior minister, and assurances were made, have been given to our members, but the thing remained elusive. So for now, we have been pushed to the wall, and we have exhausted all avenues, including but not limited to asking our members to be patient. So strikes have already commenced. Our members have met in different branches, and going forward, all services in the bursary department, in registry, in works and maintenance, security, students' affairs have been put to a halt until when payments are made.
Well, away from that, in the meantime, gunmen have abducted the rector of Immaculate Conception Minors Seminary in Uyakbodi, Esako East local government area of Edo State, Reverend Father Thomas Oyode, last night. They are counting, according to the church officials, the priests and seminarians of the Immaculate Conception Minors Seminary were observing their evening prayers and benediction on Sunday evening when they were attacked by these gunmen at about 7 p.m. The Catholic Diocese of Auchi, Edo State, says it has lodged an official report and is seeking the assistance of law enforcement agencies in releasing and securing the release of the rector. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Nanuga, has confirmed the exit of former humanitarian minister Dr. Betta Edu from the President Bola Tinubu's cabinet. Speaking in our program, Sunday Politics, Mr. Nanuga also explains that the sacked ministers were evaluated by the general public, and those who were relieved of their duties were judged to have underperformed by Nigerians.
The president told the ministers that they will be assessed He told them even when he was swearing them in August that if they don't perform, he will fire them. But in October, during the retreat, the president now went further to say there will be a formal way of assessing the ministers. And Adiza, the special advisor on policy and coordination, was put in charge of that. And she didn't also do it whimsically. She set up, used the technology, asking citizens of Nigeria to actually score the ministers. So it was after this process, I think some data were gotten from what people were saying and the scoring that Nigerians themselves made. And it was on that basis that the president acted upon. And then picked those ministers who were asked to go. Better is gone. Better is gone.
But what, I mean, he was suspended, but the president has never.
No, he was suspended in January, don't forget. And this is October.
But the president has not removed him from his cabinet.
No,
he
she's
still
gone.
stands as a suspended member of cabinet.
No, she's gone.
Officially.
Because our position has been taken over by somebody else. That's the man from Plateau that's going there now. As far as this government is concerned, there's no more any place for her in that cabinet.
But Edu is gone. Her case is closed. Investigations are closed. Nothing has been found against her.
I don't know, but I don't know. The EFCC has not shared whatever they have. But if you go by what the president has done, it shows that maybe the EFCC has submitted something that actually justified that suspension.
Interesting position. Let's stay with politics. The Rivers State chapter of the APC, led by the reinstated chairman, Emeka Beke, have condemned the lawsuit instituted by a chieftain of the party, Mr. Antonio Okocha, seeking to stop funds allocation to the local government councils. In a press statement, the party spokesperson, Darlington Nwaogu, reiterated that Antonio Okocha and his caretaker committee had been sacked, but still continue to parade themselves against a subsisting court judgment. In the scathing statement, Mr. Nwaogu further accused Mr. Okocha of not meaning well for the state and being after frustrating the councils because they no longer have access to their funds. This is coming in the wake of a press briefing over the weekend, during which Mr. Okocha admitted to going to court to stop funds allocation to councils over what he described as a faulty process. We have more stories for you. Get to the very first conversation for the day, or the conversation for the day. Let's talk about the impact of the deregulation of the oil and gas sector, not just hitting hard on consumers, but this time marketers, petroleum product marketers, who are raising concern about the funds to lift premium motor spirit PMS due to high costs and are now advocating for seed capital to cushion the effect. The players in the sector say prices to lift a truck of petrol is out of reach of most marketers, following about 700% rise, posing an existential threat to the sector with potential job loss. The president of the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Mr. Billy Gillis-Harry, and the Ipman PRO, Mr. Chinedu Kadike, who were guests on our program, The Morning Brief, say marketers are now pairing to buy products in order to stay in business.
The biggest challenge we have now is that marketers may not be able to afford the 50 million naira or thereabout to buy a 45,000 litre product to take to their retail outlets. Financial institutions are making it difficult. And this is why we have requested that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should work in a very strict business manner, provide a seed capital of about 100 billion naira to cushion the cost, so that we do not run into a tragic situation where even when the product is abundant now we are talking about making sure product comes, but when the product comes and then we are not able also to buy it and distribute, that will even be a much bigger problem.
We have made a presentation in which the federal government can come into an assistance to independent marketers. We wanted a bank set aside, like we have the Bank of Industry, the Bank of Agriculture, and all the rest of them, whereby independent, or can even give independent marketers credit facilities to be able to take this product and pay back. We have a regulating authority, which is the NMDPR, which can also put all these things together and give us, establish an energy bank whereby we can be able to seamlessly, obtain facilities to be able to run this business because most of our members now are not sharing this product. Sometimes they say task force is holding one way. It is not correct because they cannot be able to buy 45,000 liters. So they will make it 15,000. They will gather money so that the station cannot be idle. So, and if we don't do this, when there is availability of product, there will not be product in the filling station.
Let's now just give you an excerpt of what is going on in the nation's capital, Abuja, where there's an international legislative dialogue on women and the Constitution. We have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, speaking about women inclusion. Let's take a listen briefly.
It is an honor to welcome you all to this vital dialogue on advancing women's representation within our governance structure. I extend my gratitude to the organizers for the invitation to deliver this keynote address. I would like to particularly commend my deputy, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezikalu, CON, Chairman of the House Committee on Constitution Amendment, and all members of his committee, whose dedication has made this gathering possible. Today represents a meaningful step forward in our collective commitment to inclusive governance and national progress.
So that's ongoing in the nation's capital, Abuja, trying to advocate that women have to be included more in governance. We have a very small number of women in the National Assembly, both in the Senate and the House of Representatives. It's even worse in certain houses of assembly across the nation. I think the 9th Assembly was way better, and that's why this campaign is on to make it a constitutional issue, not just tokenism, a constitutional issue to include women as much as possible. But hey, we have a lot to talk about, from the issue of the oil and gas industry to politics. That's why we have joining us on the program from our Abuja studios, a businessman and political analyst, Mr. Ian Marshall Harry, joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Marshall Harry, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
So let's begin from, I know you wear a couple of caps, so let's begin with one of the things we talked about that has to do with what is playing out in the oil and gas sector. That's where I would like to start from. We spoke to the Petron president, Mr. Billy Gillis Harry, as well as Hipman PRO, Mr. Okadike, and they echoed a very disturbing concern that has to do with the ability to be able to lift petroleum product given the rise in the price of PMS. They said they were lifting it for 45,000 liters prior to this time. They could get it a truckload for about 7 million naira or so. But now you have to, you must have at least 47 to 50 million naira. That's almost a 700% increase at the end of the day. And the question now is, how do they manage to navigate all of this, given the number of size of the people in that sector and the attendant effect in terms of job loss? So they are calling for seed capital to be able to cushion and close that gap. What would be your initial reaction to that development?
Thank you very much. It's a very big problem. As I said it clearly, that's a fact. You see, we are in a country that lacks good governance. All these are cumulative problems of very, very bad leadership over the years. We are oil and gas producing nation. So we are not supposed to find ourselves where we are. You know that Nigeria is a mono economy, pre and pro-independence. We've operated only a single commodity as economy, oil and gas. Now, how do you explain where we find ourselves that over a decade, all our refineries are not working? They have been moribund, but people take money. People take salaries, money in terms of waste and salaries. We import finished product. For crying out loud, we are over 200 million Nigerians. So how can you cope with importation of finished product, whereas you have 3 refineries that were established by this government, by the Nigerian state, that is not working. So all these are the problems that are as a result of bad leadership and bad governance. So they are right. The 2 gentlemen that spoke are very, very correct. You see, you before this time you can buy products, finished product, PMS, for about 7 million naira for a bridger. That is a full truckload. Right now you need close to 50 million. So where are you going to get this money from? You find that most dealers are no more in business. So if there's any way the government can come to their rescue, fine. I'm also involved because I'm a dealer too. So they are very, very much on point.
Yeah, I that's why I asked the question, because I know you have your own retail outlet and all of that. So how challenging is it from a very practical point of view? What is the danger we're looking at here?
It's terrible. I'm telling you, it's terrible. Before this time, prior to May 29, 2003, we normally buy 1 truck of oil for between 7 to 8 million. It depends on the little variations and all that. But right now, you buy it for between 40-something to 50 million naira. It's not what I can explain. The country is in their need of help. We are having a very serious challenge in that sector. Very serious one. Most people are out of business. Most people have shut down because they can't cope. Where are you going to get money from? By the time you go to the bank to seek for a loan, bank will tell you to go and bring your grandfather and your grandmother's assets. So the Nigerian business environment is in a downstream.
So, Mr. Marshall Harry, do you agree that you need seed capital?
Of course, yeah. Of course. But where are you going to get it from? In this corrupt system, it can't work. Even if the government tries to do that, the system will not allow it because there are cartels all over. Like in this oil and gas in industry, they have a lot of cartel. Otherwise, why will Nigeria suffer for subsidy that they know nothing about? All the problem is because subsidy was removed without adequate and proper plan. There are no plans to cushion the effect and shocks of subsidy removal. All these are accumulative results of corruption. That is the basic thing. So I'm not sure that even if the state decided to support marketers with fund, it will go down to them or to us.
All right. That is a very long conversation. I say you wear 2 caps. One as a businessman in the oil and gas sector, and the other as a political analyst. So let's get to the politics. And I want your immediate reaction to the scrapping of the Niger Delta Ministry, where the president has said, look, we're now creating all of these interventionist agencies, Northeast Development, Southeast Development, South-South Development Agency, and all of the agencies across board. So they decided to scrap the Niger Delta Development Ministry and now created the Ministry for Regional, all of these regional establishments that have been created by the government. And we've seen reaction even from people in the South-South. Your name, Marshall Harry, is a household name, knowing your father, I guess. So what's the reaction? What is the reaction of the people?
My brother, Yoffrey, is a very unfortunate development. I could not speak because when I heard the news, it was very, very surprising to me. Because you know that the Ministry of Data was created because of the long-term neglect and the hostility and the people's agitation. So it was meant to serve to cushion the effects of our degraded our environment that has been polluted due to oil activities. So for you now to say you want to scrap or you've already scrapped the data ministry, that because of you want to join it with you want it to supervise other regional development. Where are you going to fund those other regional development from? We are these other regional development commissions set up in to stop the problems of the Niger Deltans. We are Niger Deltans, and we have peculiar problems. We feed this nation. So when you have to give Niger Delta a special attention. So to me, it's a very sad thing that ministry has been scrapped.
The argument is that NDDC and Niger Delta Development Ministry seem to have a duplicate role. That is perhaps seem to be the argument. They're also creating the South-South Development Agency. I don't know whether the NDDC will still hold with the South-South Development Agency. Is that not valid for you?
No, it's not. Like I said, we have peculiar needs. Our environment is being polluted. Our environment is being degraded. We don't have the same challenges like other regions. If, for instance, now we have any form of natural disaster, a form of earthquake and whatever, it will happen to us. So we have peculiar needs. So you don't compare us to the other regions. So it is very, very uncalled for.
All right, let's now trickle down to Rivers politics, where you come from, where your dad. Permit me, Dr. Marshall Ari was your father, right?
Sure.
Good. I wanted to put that in context. So it's a very household name. So Marshall Harris is a household name. We're very familiar with that name. I want you to give us an outlook of what you see that is playing out in Rivers State. Rivers State has become a theater of the absurd from what we've seen. In fact, it's even difficult to explain Rivers State to anybody. So contextually, now we have a House of Assembly. We're not sure whether they are APC or PDP, but they are defected to the APC. And there's a House of Assembly made up of Victor Kojumbo's side that is loyal to the governor in the PDP. The governor is PDP, using an SPV of the APP to hold the local government on one hand. And then there is the Nyesom Wike faction that is the APC of the House of Assembly, and then the APC leadership in the state that is divided. So it's just a mixed bag of many things. Some people are saying it's PD, APP, PD, APC. It's just a confusion all over the place. Tell us what exactly, it looks like Rivers, is it that Rivers people don't have elders to begin to call these political actors into the room to say, look guys, I think we need to slow down and get things right.
My brother Jeffrey, what's happening in my state is very unfortunate. But I can encapsulate the happenings in Rivers State in about 4 to 5 words. All is politics. I would say it is, first, ingratitude, distrust, disloyalty, wickedness, and greed. All these are the attributes I will say is one man's characteristics. And that man, let me give you a brief background. You know my dad was the first chairman of PDP in Rivers State in 1998. He put up the PDP structure. Then nobody had money. Everybody looked up to him. Very few people, like the likes of Victor Odley and Henry McPeple, brought money to support my dad. My father put up the PDP structure in Rivers State, made Odley governor, 3 senators, reps, local chairmen, and assembly members. What did Mashari get? He got betrayal. He was betrayed. Now, the same man that betrayed Mashari is the same person that is behind the governor of Rivers State. This whole thing is about politics. So for me, I think that the governor has misfired. For him to support Peter Odili or for Odili to be his godfather today, I overheard the governor saying last time that Odili was the man that laid the foundation for this current political era. It's wrong, not correct, much how it did. Now, coming to the issues now in Rivers State, I think that the governor has showed a level of ingratitude. I don't expect anything more from him, baby, because when you call somebody like Peter Odili your father and your godfather, whatever Wike and himself had, it is strictly their business. Making you or asking you to be a governor is not a tea party. So you, as a governor, you try to bite the fingers that fed you. It's quite unfortunate. To me,
all right.
At what point did the governor agree that he will sign the peace accord in the villa with the
Okay, because of time.
All the things they wrote, we are read to him.
So let's manage time. Some are blaming the governor. In fact, people are saying both of them have a share. That whatever both of them had agreed is really nobody's business. The commonwealth of the people is what is important. Some are saying it's time for Nyesom Wike to also hands off and leave the governor to run his government. Others are saying, look, he made this guy. This guy is ungrateful. Apparently, you're feeling that the man is ungrateful. But what do you say to Nyesom Wike, who is also pushing hard on this particular issue? And there's a lot of brickbat back and forth.
My mother, making somebody a governor is not a tea party. I know about people that have contested all their life to be governor of the state. But for somebody to bring you from level 12, make you an account cashier in government house, made you a DFA in government house, made you a palm sack, made you...
So what do you... I'm told our time is almost up. So what do you expect the governor to do?
The governor should go back to his master and be grateful that he's a governor. It's not easy. He should go back to him for peace to reign.
Okay.
He should go back to Wike because I know that Wike will not agree.
Anyway, this conversation is an ongoing one. People are saying people made people. At the end of the day, he's the governor of the state, elected by the people of Rivers State. At the end of the day, ours is the fact that we bring the issues to the fore and help the people make sense. At the end of the day, it's about the peace and prosperity of the people of Rivers. I must thank you so much, EM Marshall Harry, for coming on the program. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for the short time. We have more things. We have a lot of things to discuss, but just
absolutely, it's a developing conversation. There's a lot to talk about. All right, so that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics.